Gun versus Spirit, who is the most OP in Deadlock? The debate has raged on for thousands of Reddit threads. So today, I am finally solving it. We gathered 12 top players, including Saya, the best player in NA, and we split them into teams. The Spirit side can only use their abilities and only buy purple and green items, no orange items. The gun side cannot use a single ability that requires a button press, aka passives like Fixation and Afterburn are fine, but stuff like Jin's Mark is not. Furthermore, they cannot buy any purple items. Finally, to make laning fair, punching is a-okay. So let's solve this Deadlock debate once and for all. Who wins, gun or Spirit? It's game time. We have 12 Eternus 6s and 1 pro player in Saya playing a fantastic game of gun only versus spirit only. As we see, this McGinnis has not activated any of their abilities. The rules are pretty simple. The gun side can only punch or shoot. They cannot use their abilities. They can only buy orange and green items, but they cannot buy any purple items. The other side, a little bit more different. So they are allowed to use all of their skills and they're allowed to punch, but they cannot use their guns. And furthermore, they cannot use any of their orange items, so they cannot buy any orange items. They can only buy greens, and they can only buy purples. I'm going to be solo casting today. I do have Tom observing. It's going to be a really, really fun game of Deadlock, and there's so much to talk about in terms of strategies and such. I want to clarify one last rule before we really go in, which is the passive ability rule. So, any character that has a passive ability, aka an ability that you cannot press a button to activate, like for example Infernus's Afterburn, Victor's ult, or Viper's Slither, they can use that ability. They can continue using that ability because it's not like an ability that I have to press. For stuff like, for example, Mirage's Jin Mark, that was completely banned because you can't technically press that ability. Anyhow, we do have so many good players in this one. We do have a very fun game. I need to really start talking a little bit about how I think this game is going to go. So, in the beginning, I think the biggest problem is that gun is going to dominate lane. So we've already seen a pick on Spirit side, so well done to them. But yeah, gun is just very good at laning. They're gonna have no problems denying. They're gonna have no problems getting those minions pushed, and that's gonna mean so much lane pressure. I imagine that gun will start having a very good laning session, but of course, as the game goes on, Spirit is gonna become just so much stronger. Spirit is so many abilities that are very splash oriented, like for example, Dynamo's ult, that big paradox bomb, that pocket that can, you know, damage several people at the same time. They are very dangerous. Now, what that means is that earned fights, mid-boss fights, everything in that vein is just going to be much easier for Spirit than for gun. But of course, as we all know, gun is endgame. Gun is very strong the later the game goes, and by God does gun have some good stuff they can get. They can get all those Spirit resiliences, they can get Colossus, they can get whatever they need to ensure that Spirit can do no damage to them. On the other hand, of course, Spirit is not without any responses. They're gonna have a whole bunch of items they can get. They're gonna get Return Fire, they're gonna get not Alk Fire. They're gonna get Return Fire. They're gonna get plated armor. They're gonna get the metal skin. They're gonna get so many of the anti-gun items. We're gonna see how this game develops. But we need to start talking a little bit about the choices. So, of course, let's start talking a little about Viper. Viper is a very good character. He does have like one of the biggest gun outputs in the game. I think the highest base DPS of any character. And of course, that Slither is going to help a lot. It's going to give that Viper a shield. It's going to give her a whole bunch of mobility and stamina. And I mean, like, yes, Viper early lane does rely a whole bunch on her spirit damage, especially her lethal venom, which is definitely one of the strongest abilities in the game. But like, later the game goes on, the more that gun is going to start mattering. And of course, if you do have an early game victory as Viper, if you get that lane, if you get that buffs that come with lane, you can like start scaling. Viper can become such a scary hero. Some heroes are going to have to contend with just being a stat stick, like this Warden here. Warden is very strong right now. Definitely one of the top heroes, and mainly because of his gun. His gun doesn't have any special enhancements. It doesn't have Afterburn. It doesn't have Fixation. It's just really big and very easy to headshot with if you are one of these Eternus players. And I mean, it's gonna be just so much fun seeing how this Warden approaches the game. Especially as these Guardians are going on. We do see a 2k soul advantage already for Team Gun, which is, of course, our team of Hidden King. But Team Spirit also has a whole bunch of responses. To the surprise of no one, there were some banned heroes. Kelvin, Hayes, definitely heroes that were immediately banned. Kelvin especially important ban here because you know, he does have one of the few abilities in the game that allow you to deny in lane, and that is just so important, because if you can deny from a range in lane, you're going to be in a much safer position, and you're going to maybe even win your lane because your spirit abilities are just going to do so much more work. On the other side, Haze was banned for Team Gun, because of course Haze was banned for Team Gun. I mean, like, what a strong character Haze is. That fixation can be so freaking powerful. Even if you don't get to press that 4 button, a fixation with Ricochet can easily change the nature of a team battle, and Team Spirit really didn't want that. Victor, even with ult alone, can be very strong. He has one of the best guns in the game, and if he dies and he does get that respawn and his ult is on cooldown, he does get that bonus spirit damage, which can matter so much, especially as Metal Skin is going to be one of the most important guys, and Return Fire as well, hopefully. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be really strong. But yeah, as we see here, he puts his revive, and suddenly he's going to have a little bit more fire rate, and he's going to have a little bit more spirit damage because of his ult power, and he's going to be able to wrap up that Guardian. Right now, that's going to be the first Guardian going down, as predicted from Team Gun. They're already 7k ahead, but again, this is like a lopsided sort of game. I do not think that for a second that this is how the game is going to go. Team Spirit is really going to pick up as they unlock all their abilities, as they get more into motion. Because at the end of the day, once you max out your Viper Slither, once you max out that Afterburn, once you max out your, you know, Victor ult, your scaling kind of stops. On the other hand, Team Spirit is going to be leveling up those abilities. They do not have to depend on items alone. Of course, Team Spirit is also getting a bunch of interesting items, and we see not 1, not 2, but 4 rusted barrels. I think disarming Hex is going to be just so important that everybody in Team Spirit is going to be considering it alongside their other anti-gun items. Denying gun is just so much easier than denying spirit. I mean, you have Metal Skin, you have Return Fire, you have Plated Armor. Well, what does Team Gun have? Witch Mail? What do they need Witch Mail for? I mean, I guess they're Spellbreaker, but still, there are some much better tools on Team Spirit's arsenal. Telling you, very equal game. Right now, we do see on lane number 1, everybody is gathered. They're trying to get their very last Guardian. Guardians are very important for getting a little bit of map presence. They do allow you to get access to an early shop. They do allow you access towards a base of defense if you ever need to retreat. But I mean, we're already seeing the powers of this Spirit team. That talent is going to be incredibly strong. One of the big problems that you would have in a game like this is that you can't easily finish people off. Imagine that you're a Spirit character. Imagine that you're Pocket. You can do like a whole bunch of damage with your cloak, with your satchel, but at the end of the game, you might have someone with 100, 200 HP just running away. 2 shotgun shots are all that you would need. Unfortunately, you're not going to get them, but if you have a character like Grey Talon, he can just press his 4 button and suddenly you're going to be in a much worse position. But yeah, right now, this is the power peak of Team Strength, Team Gun early in the game. Of course, Strength is playing as one of the gun players. So I'm calling it Team Strength. But Saya is also playing in that team. I think he is playing that Eternus character. So Eternus can be an incredibly strong hero. He's gonna give first and foremost Team Amber some spirit damage, which is something I really need, especially as Metal Skins start rolling on the later the game goes. Most importantly, though, Afterburn gives you negative spirit damage, which is gonna be so hard for Team Archmother to face. But not having that fire that comes with you, and those legs that fire away, and that napalm is gonna hurt him a little bit. But it is Sai after all. He is like the second highest player on Team Amber, so it doesn't surprise me that he's gonna figure out solutions here. Punches a plenty here, and of course, what can you do if you don't shoot? You're gonna have to use your punches to wrap people up. And I mean, when you're stuck in the middle of a grenade, you don't really have time to parry, because if you parry, you just get shot by 2 or 3 more grenades. This Viper, also another hero that's popping. I think that Viper is being played by Strength. Strength, known for his Viper play, is one of his 3 quote-unquote mains. So it is Ivy, it is Wraith, and it is Viper. He plays a little bit of Calico too. But yeah, Viper can really shine. He's going to be able to get that max Slither very soon. Not ideally the sort of ability you'd like to get. But right now, the fight seems to be entirely on Team Sapphire's side. And, you know, very deep here. You cannot shoot players, so you got to chase them and wait for your cooldowns to be over. Kinetic Carbine is going to be so important to wrapping a player like Warden up. But I think he's going to escape right now, as there is no Talon coming in. And we see that Urn has been grabbed, not by Team Sapphire, arguably the team with a stronger Urn, but by Team Amber. On the other hand, this Warden is doing every single technique in the book. He's looking for Fury Trance. I think Fury Trance is definitely one of the most popular items that Team Gun is going to try and grab. Fury Trance, Silencer, anything that's going to help with Spirit Resist is going to matter so much. I mean, I do expect resiliences on both sides, the respective resiliences too, and a nice little punch, and that is a dead McGinnis. McGinnis, notably one of the heroes with the least mobility in the game. Very powerful gun. Can be very powerful in this format, but I suspect that the biggest reason why McGinnis was grabbed in here is not because McGinnis is like the ideal gun hero, it's because McGinnis is the ideal spirit hero. Alt McGinnis is not very strong, definitely an annoying character to play against, but not a very, very strong hero. We don't ever see her in Night Shift or anything like that. Now, of course, is this Victor trying to die? I think he's trying to die. He's trying to activate that shocking reanimation, and I mean, like, you just stay there in the middle. Normally you'd have an aura of suffering too to boost you a little bit of pain batteries, but he's just getting parry after parry after parry after parry. That's a whole bunch of damage on that walker in the middle. That Warden tries to come in, tried to wrap it up, does not matter, gets immediately Moan Krill combo, and that is just so much damage coming your way. Normally you're not going to win a 4v1 even with no guns. So but anyhow, as I was saying about McGinnis, McGinnis does have that ult, and that ult is usually very powerful if it is uninterrupted. But what happens if your enemy team has stuns? Well, it gets interrupted. Now imagine your team gun, you will have no access to any stun whatsoever. McGinnis suddenly becomes really powerful. You really want to eliminate that McGinnis player. Viper is trying to go in, poking a little bit on that Walker on lane number 2. Lane number 2 Walker is the linchpin usually of the strategy. It is just a much easier Walker to defend because if you're on lane number 1, lane number 3, it is so much easier now that there's no easily accessible teleporters to go to that mid lane than it is, for example, to go from lane number 1 to lane number 3. So, of course, you want to have as many people defending it as possible because if that falls, your macro might struggle a little bit. And I mean, these are Eternus players. These are Eternus 6 players. They're going to know how to manipulate each other's macro. But instead, we're seeing Wallbreaker Victor is going all the way to the shrines here. What is going on? Team Amber knows that they're just going to go ahead here. And I mean, shocking reanimation will be activated immediately. And that's a whole bunch of damage on this shrine. But he gets stunned. Oh no, what an unfortunate timing here. Wait, is it gonna matter? No, Wallbreaker Victor is doing Wallbreaker things. Is he gonna get shrined? Yes, he does. What a fantastic grab here. The death does not matter. The death of 2 players for that shrine is completely immaterial. Especially because Team Sapphire doesn't have any ults, so any idea of going to that mid boss, oh, it's not gonna matter. Warden has grabbed the urn though, as this big fight is developing here on lane number 1. Saya's trying to 1v2 here. He does have counterspell, very important, especially given the amount of spirit damage that the opponent's team is going to be outputting. So yeah, he's going to be holding this lane 1v2, giving a lot of space for his teammates on lane number 1. I think that with the Guardian, he might actually be safe. This Victor is going in for those light melees, and he has eliminated that Paradox. Urn has been dropped in, and that Victor is a little bit out of position, but I mean, like, very well done here. Saya proving to be the linchpin of Team Amber, just being able to stay in position, hold down 1v1s, 1v2s, 1v3s even. He's just so powerful. But yeah, Affliction has been activated here. Normally very important ability, especially if anyone has any sort of external healing, like for example a McGinnis heal dropped on the gown. But with just that Blood Lifesteal, maybe not as important right now. Paradox is going in, does only get one grenade amp there, and I think that Warden's going to be able to back out really easily. You would think the Team Sapphire would be the team delivering every single urn, but I mean, their strategy has been impeccable. Waste those ults and immediately deliver urn after. How are you going to get contested? Fantastic strategizing by one of the best players in NA, frankly. Kanko is going in, using her zipline advantage to try and back off. I mean, with no gun, it's impossible to knock her off the zipline. So suddenly those ziplines become a lot more valuable than they would be in a normal game, where these Eternus players will be sharp enough to just, you know, zipline people all the time. But yeah, I mean, what is the game plan right now for Team Sapphire? They do have already had those return fires, and we do see that the counter for those is just, you know, stop shooting. Just wait out those return fires. You have no legal requirement to shoot someone if return fire is on. You can always switch targets, and I mean, they're gonna run out of metal skins eventually, right? Calco is going in. Calco is going in right after that Mo, and I think that's going to be a very interesting choice because that Mo is behind enemy lines. He does have that burrow, and once he burrows, it's going to be a little bit hard to chase him between that return fire and all of his other abilities. But yeah, this Mo can delay for a very, very long time. But on the other hand, these two guys are just chasing him. The slowing bullets are certainly going to be really, really good and making sure that he is catchable. And once that burrow ends, I don't know, a bit of a precarious position. And that precarious position might materialize right here, but he does have that disarm, return fire. What are you meant to do here? And he does have metal skin too, I think. No, he doesn't have metal skin, I think, yet. But yeah, gets a little bit of a swap here. So much damage coming this Warden's way. He is very deep in enemy territory here, and Lash is looking for something. Punches a plenty, but is that gonna be enough? Not if a parry happens. Lash ult comes in just to wrap that Warden up, and that is I am bullet dead. He is a bullet, as in he's gone like a bullet straight to the ground. But yeah, I mean, Calco is being hunted right now. That was a very big amount of swipe happening from that pocket. I mean, like, if that pocket got a single amp shot there, that would have been very precarious. But that owl is still around. No, I think that Talon is moving right now. And oh no, she gets immediately knocked out of those air turbines. And that is going to be a dead Calco. Right now, Urn is in contention. It is, after all, the third Urn of the game. And I mean, team strength, Gun has really proven himself to be, like, you know, a team that can actually handle Urn despite their precarious circumstances. So are they going to try and grab the Urn here? No, there seems to be a very big fight for it instead. We do see return fires up plenty. I think it's just a very cheap, very good solution to what Team Amber is meant to do. And I mean, like, what are you meant to do here? This is a very big problem that Team Amber is going to have to solve. Basically, how are you going to do damage? Because, you know, those guns are going to be good, but once the other team just gets those metal skins, those bullet resiliences, those disarming hexes, you might be stuck in a very bad position. And that Talon Owl can wrap people up who are low. Maybe Frenzy's in order? I don't even know what you would grab here. But Pocket has been eliminated by 4 people looking straight at them. And with 2 people eliminated on Team Sapphire, the question is, 3 people eliminated on Team Sapphire. Do you go for the walker or do you go for mid? Now, mid is just too precarious, especially because a Dynamo, a Lash ult, I don't think you're allowed to do mid. But if anyone can prove me wrong, it is the best players in NA. Oh, they're going for mid. I think this is going to be a very precarious mid. I don't know that you're going to be allowed to do that for free. Lash is in position, Paradox is positioning, and I mean, oh my god, wait, no, this Lash is late. This Lash is late. That is 3 rejuves being secured, and I don't know that you are allowed to jump in there, right? Lash comes in, grabs 2 people in his ult, and that is going to be very, very good. 1 rejuve has already been eliminated. And I mean, this Lash might be able to make it off. He does not have that traditional headhunter gear that is so popular with Lashes nowadays. Going for that 4.8k gun spike. He's just going for a nice melee fight in the tunnels. This Warden does not have his gun recharged yet. But now that his gun is here, oh, I don't know that you're going to be able to catch this Lash. But maybe with a little bit of Calico help, you might be able to just wrap it up. He's going to try and back off. Use all of his skills. Use every flog that he can. Use his return fire. He is, you know, holding them for such a long time. But even this Lash has limits. Anyhow, Urn has been grabbed by Team Sapphire, and Team Sapphire might want to grab that Urn as soon as possible. Oh no, they're gonna get Hyperline. That is one heck of a dead Team Sapphire. And I think the Team Amber is just allowed to secure Urn here. Very well done. Now, of course, the big question is, can you advance to the enemy base? We have 0 ricochets. Everyone's gone for weighted shots or any sort of thing like blood tribute, just to make sure that they have any sort of debuff resist, to make sure that, you know, they don't really die to this team of spirit players. But ricochet might be very important, especially to do a little bit of gun damage at scale. Infernus caught a little bit out of position here. Dynamo comes in with an ult, grabs 2 people, and that is 1 dead Infernus. That is going to be so freaking important. Grabbing that 1 last rejuve here. Infernus does not have his flame dash. He's not going to be able to just easily back away. I think that this is just a precarious situation all around, and that is going to mean that he's going to be dead. Team Sapphire proving that they do have just a much stronger fight in base. But this Victor is here, and I mean, this Victor is doing God's work. He might not die just because he does have his ult yet, and he's doing so much damage. Disarming hexes are reserved for him, and solely for him. The silence from that wall does not matter, and of course the Paradox hasn't maxed it either. He is gonna be rejuvenated right here in the middle of this fight, and suddenly his gun is even stronger. Like, what are you meant to do here? Just press your return fire button, I guess. Meliskin's not a plenty yet. Lash comes in, 3 people ulted into the grenade. That is 1 death. That warden is so low. Is that Lash gonna be able to wrap him up? No gun damage means he's gonna have to chase for a little bit more. He does have that slam right now. He should be able to wrap him up if he can even see him. Where is he? Where is that warden? And I don't see him either. Yeah, okay, now I see him. He is being chased by this pocket. It is gonna be just precarious to catch him. Lash comes in with the flog, wraps it up. That is a great chase. So that is 3 people from Team Amber dead. Team Sapphire, who was almost at the brink of defeat, suddenly makes a massive comeback because they do have that team fight advantage. Team Amber is positioned yet again to try and grab Urn first. Their Urn prowess has been insane this game. Team Sapphire certainly the weaker on the Urn side. And I mean, like, do you want to be the weaker when you have just a much stronger Urn fight? You want to position yourself here. But yeah, Eternus is trying to fight this 1v2. That Owl is wasted on him. And I mean, with that much leech, he might just be too strong right now. This is Sai. We're talking about a pro player. He does have the aim of one of the best players in NA and creates enough space for his team to grab yet another Urn. These Urns are never stopping. What can Team Sapphire do? But yeah, with that stun coming in, Team Amber is being a little bit pressured here, but now this is the 50-second of death part of the game. And then when you're in the 50-second of death part of the game, dying for Walker starts being like as good as it was. Especially if you can get a pick with it, especially if you can force a fight with it, especially if you can get enough space for an Urn with it. I don't think you're allowed to do that, but yeah. Oh my god, the aim is just insane here. Saya just so good at freaking aiming. Making Eternus work even with 1/4 of his kit online. Like, this is how strong this guy is at the game. As these engagements are happening, it's worth talking a little bit about what sort of items we're seeing, and we need to talk about those items from Team Spirit. We see a couple of bullet resiliences, which are great items, but we only see 1 metal skin. Disarming Hex has been the tech of choice, with 2 disarming hexes and a couple of rusted barrels still left. But yeah, return fire also very prominently featured. Just try to do as much damage as possible to Team Gun by using their own gun, which works. I mean, look at this Lash. He did 1,000 damage just by existing. And we see divine barriers here, which make a lot of sense. I mean, there's just so many negative effects and debuffs that you will have just being against a team of 6 spirit players. You want to get anything that can, you know, cleanse your frontliner, and by god is that frontliner a strong frontliner. But yeah, I mean, he's doing just so much damage here. But can you beat this Mo at his own game? He's one of the best tanks in the game, and he does get a massive grab here. But look at the duration of that grab between Blood Tribute and all of the rest of his kit. He just doesn't have enough time to grab and kill there. Very well done. With 4 picks, I think Team Gun is allowed to just advance a little bit towards that enemy base. And I mean, like, the leader right now is, of course, Saya. Such a strong player. He has grabbed Unstopped, which is an incredibly good tech, especially against what Team Amber has to offer. But yeah, I mean, like, he's getting pick after pick after pick after pick despite not having access to Napalm or his ult. It is insane how powerful Saya can be. And I think Team Amber is going to back here. 1 more fight left for Team Sapphire. Blame Gluten. Blame Gluten. Mid has been activated right here. I think that Team Amber will find no problem whatsoever grabbing it. Team Sapphire is licking their wounds in base. And I mean, this is going to have to be a defense of a lifetime. Come end has been called, but I don't think Team Sapphire is ready to end just yet. Wait, they're all, you know, staying in base? What is going on here? Only Paradox is fighting. What is this? They're just giving up. They're just calling it right here, right now. Throwing a little bit of final bullets. Where's my Lash ult? Well, Lash ult is coming in. Massive Lash ult right into the Dynamo. What am I saying? Why would I even suggest that Team Sapphire has given up? It is instead going to be this Dynamo ult into Lash ult, into Dynamo ult. And that's going to be a whole bunch of people who are very low, but Team Sapphire is not able to wrap those people up. The Lash is going to be forced back. There's just so much damage. And GG. We have definitively proven that Gun is better in Deadlock than Spirit. I hope. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to see the true power of Spirit, you should check out this game where the initiates were given no cooldowns. Thank you so much to our patrons, and have a good day, folks.